Good afternoon and welcome to the Vibrantly Healthy Mom Show. Today we're going to talk about how to be more fulfilled, less stressed, and how to enjoy life more. My name is Laura Bostrom and I am so glad to have you here with me today. You might be here live or you might be listening to the recording. Either way, I'm glad to have you join me. Comment below and let me know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to hear from you. So let's talk about our topic for today, how to be more fulfilled, who doesn't want that, right? And less stressed and able to enjoy life more. So I was talking with someone the other day and we were discussing the idea of different things that we want to do, the things that we hear about others doing, but somehow we just can't find the time to do. And she was just feeling badly that there were some things that she knows others have the time to do, whether it be listening to something or taking part in an activity or whatever it might be, and just feeling like, man, why can't I find the time to do those things? So I asked her the question. Here's the question, and you can ask yourself this question too, is what is it that you find is taking so much of your time right now? What is it you spend so much of your time in your life doing that keeps you from doing other things? And the interesting thing is she paused and she thought, and it was quiet for a while. And when it came right down to it, she had a hard time really discovering what it was beyond just regular daily routine type things that was consuming her time. And I know that all too well because I have been there many times where when I evaluate where I'm spending my time, it ends up being on the routine, everyday things, whether it be preparing meals and eating them, doing laundry, cleaning the house, getting up, waking up in the morning, doing whatever morning routine you do, and then through on out the day. And, what happens is it ends up being very much like something that I have heard about since I was a little girl, and I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I've always been under the impression that when it comes to ships, big ships, that they're constantly painting them because they're so big and it's important to keep them painted with fresh paint for whatever reason. And I don't know how much truth there is to what I'm going to say here, but it's what I've always heard, what I've always understood, and so it makes a really good illustration here. But the idea that I've always had in my mind is that they start painting the ship, they go all the way around, and by the time they get to the end of where they're painting, it's time to start back over again because it's time for a new fresh coat of paint again. So basically when they finish, it's time to begin again. And that is exactly what I discovered in my life quite a long time ago, now a few years ago at least, where I found that I was spending all of my time doing the routine scheduled things that I had put in my schedule, things that are important and responsibilities that I have, but I was spending all my time doing those things that then I would finish them and then it was time to start them over again. And what happened is I never had time in between to do those extra things, the things that were really important to me, the things that I really wanted and loved to do. They got squeezed out because of my regular routine of things. So it's like I said, it's a lot like the whole painting the ship kind of thing. By the time I finish, it was time to start over again. And I missed out on so many things. So there came a point in time where I made a shift. And that shift was one where I began to intentionally put in my calendar those things that I really wanted to do, those things that were constantly getting squeezed out. I intentionally put them into my calendar so they were scheduled. And here's the thing. They might end up being at a time when I was regularly supposed to be doing something else, but that's okay. I decided it was okay if that thing got put on hold to take care of later on another day at another time. And hey, what if it was one of those things that like maybe changing the beds that I do on a weekly basis? What if I missed it for a week? And what if I just waited until the following week? No big deal. It was going to eventually get done. And by doing this, it has allowed me to finally be able to do those things that I love to do. It's been very freeing for me to not be so rigid and tied to my schedule that I haven't been able to do the things that I have longed to do. So I am so glad that I made that shift. I'm so glad that I made that change in my life because it allowed me, like I said, to be freed up to do the things I love. I enjoy life so much more. It's more fulfilling. And honestly, what I have found is when you change things up and you're not always doing them the same way at the same time, just repeatedly over and over and over again, it's really a lot more fun. It's more exciting. It's fun to do things in a different way. So if you're finding that you're having trouble creating that time to be able to do the things that you want to do so much, then consider putting the things on hold temporarily that are part of your routine so that you can make time for the things that you want to do. And don't get me wrong here. I am not saying put away organization and being, one to have a routine of when you do things. I am all for that. Trust me. that is how I operate in life. But we have to find a balance between the two. It's really important. Or we are going to be so married to our schedule that we will miss out on so much in life. So I hope this has been helpful to you. And I do hope that once you give it a try, that you find as well that you are freed up and you enjoy life more as well. So I look forward to being with you again next week, and I hope you have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.